I failed big time. I really messed this up. How could I have done this again? Why wasn't I thinking? I should have planned ahead. The bottom line is that I failed. I failed over and over and over again over the course of my life. Here's a list of the things that I failed at throughout my life. As a kid in elementary school, I failed to turn in assignments on time. I failed to tell my parents when I had a project that was due, and I would wait to the last minute and create all of this chaos. When I was in high school, I failed to pass a couple of classes, meaning that I actually failed the classes, and then I had to take them in summer school. During my late teens and early 20s, when I was considered an adult legally and I started dating, I kind of failed at relationships because anytime a nice person expressed true interest in me, I ran the other way. I failed to finish college in one try, so I didn't go from start to finish in 4 years. I started and stopped and started and stopped, and repeat that about 3 or 4 times over the course of 10 years until finally, at the age of 29, I graduated from college. Woo! My first marriage was a failure, and I have had countless fails in parenting. Countless. Let's not even talk about that. I have failed with my finances many times, over and over again. So many times I have been in debt and gotten myself out, and again, and again, and again. I had failures dating after I got divorced. Many, many ridiculous, crazy failures. Oh, do I have some stories to tell that I probably won't share with you. And once I was in a new relationship, which I'm still in now, 13 and a half years later, I had tons of failures co-parenting and blending our family of 3 children together. And once again, financial failures once we blended our families together. Boy, were we a mess. As an elementary school teacher for the last 25 years, well, we could talk about the failures I've experienced there. From not keeping a lesson plan book properly, to getting to work late, to forgetting to give an assessment, to forgetting to fill out forms for a student's individualized educational program, to losing my patience with students, you name it. Over the course of 25 years, tons, millions, fails. Oh my God, I don't even want to think about it. I have even failed at times to be a good friend. And that one hurts a little bit. But it's true. I have friendships that are long-lasting and have gone on for decades, but I'm not always a good friend. I forget people's birthdays. I don't always call back because I hate talking on the phone. Friends will message me and ask me to get together, and I'll let them know that I'll get back to them, and then I don't. And it's not because I don't want to. I just forget. It goes out of my mind. Anyway, I've had failures in friendships. If any of what I've said rings a bell for you or resonates with you or hit you hard or hits home in any way, leave me a little heart or a little hug emoji down there and let me know that you're with me. I know I'm not the only person who has failed at these things. Out of the 470 subscribers that I have and the however other many people are watching this video, you've got to admit, you failed at times too. So to wrap up this list, I'll add a few more quick ones. I failed at weight loss over and 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 over again. Let's not even go there. I have failed at self-care practices, making sure that I get out in the sun, even though it's the right thing to do, making sure that I always eat properly, even though it's the right thing to do, making sure that I go to the doctor, meet my doctor's appointments on time, even though that's the right thing to do. I failed there too. And so have you. Oh, and let's not forget, sometimes I fail to keep my house clean. It's a big house for one person to clean, even though there's 4 people that live there. I've spent hours, days, probably years of my life focusing on the little details, the little bits of failures here and there. And I've done that too much. I think that's part of the human condition, actually. But the other day, something happened to me that made me change my whole perspective on the idea of failure and had me realizing that I've probably been thinking about this all wrong. So it was the last day of school for my second grade class, and about 15 minutes before the end of the day, I decided to do something called a community circle, where we all sit down together and everybody gets a chance to share something that they were thinking or feeling. So each person went around and we got to this one boy. I will call him Sam. And Sam said, "Miss Gold, I will always remember this year because you were so kind to me and everybody." Wow, that made me feel really good, I've got to say. The bell rang and I said goodbye to all my students, and there were hugs and a few tears and a few kids who were reluctant to leave. But they successfully left and were dismissed and went home. There are a few kids who stay after school each day in the after-school program. So I told them that I would be on campus for a couple of hours as I was packing up and cleaning up my classroom, and I would make sure to say hi to them if I saw them on the yard. Well, Sam kept looking for me on the yard. Every time that I walked from my classroom to the office to turn in some paperwork or to bring something to my car, he would find me, run up to me, and give me a big hug. Or he'd say, "Do you need any help in your classroom? I can help you clean up." And we're not allowed to have kids in our classroom after school, so I politely told him, "No, thank you, but I'll make sure to say goodbye to you before I leave at the end of the day." About an hour had passed, and I was in my room doing the last few minutes of cleanup when I heard a knock at the door. So I went to the door, opened it, and there was Sam standing there with a little container of brand new watercolor paints that we use at our school. So I said, "Hey, Sam, what's up? What do you need?" And he said, "Well, Miss Gold, I just wanted to give you this." And he reached out and handed me the watercolor paints. And I said, "Wow, Sam, that's so kind of you. Thank you. By the way, where did you get the watercolors from?" And he said, "Oh, Mr. Reese gave them to me, the other second grade teacher, but I want you to have them." Now, I have to tell you that in that moment, at the same time that my heart rose and got so full, my heart also sank at this realization. Historically, on the last day of school, students brought me all sorts of gifts thanking me for my service and because I was the best teacher ever, or whatever it is that, whatever their sentiment was. And on this particular day of this particular year, there were no gifts from students or parents. So throughout the day, on and off, I was feeling a little sad. And selfishly, I was wondering, what did I do wrong? Why are there no gifts this year? Now, as silly as that sounds, and before you have anything to say about that mindset, it's just based on past historical behaviors of parents and students. And I thought, really, what did I do wrong this year? But when Sam handed me those watercolors and said, "I want you to have them," with no other explanation, that was the gift. That was the reminder that I did nothing to fail anybody this school year. I totally succeeded. I succeeded in building relationships with all of these students. I succeeded in building a relationship with this student, so much so that in his little 8-year-old mind, the way that he was thanking me was giving me watercolor paints. I have 30 of them already in the classroom that are brand new and ready to go for next year, but he doesn't need to know that. What he needs to know is that I accepted the paint, and I accepted them with love, and accepted them with openness, and with an understanding that that's his way of telling me that I succeeded in giving him what he needed this year. Sam made it completely clear to me that I had not failed him. And then that got me thinking. It got me thinking about all of the times and all of the situations in my life where I fell down, but then I got back up again. It had me thinking about all those failures that I told you about before. And then it got me thinking about where I am right now today. Today, I am in a relationship that has withstood 13 and a half years of trials and tribulations and struggles with raising 3 children in a blended family. I have gotten myself out of debt 3 times. I have purchased a car all by myself without anybody co-signing for me. I have purchased a home. I have maintained a career for 25 years. I have raised 2 children all the way from the womb into adulthood. They will be 22 and 19 in the next couple of months, and I am so stinking proud of both of them. I have maintained my health. For all of these years, I take no medication. I have gotten through the grief of losing a parent. I have gotten past the grief of ending a relationship with a sibling who was toxic to me. I have succeeded in so many ways. They are beyond recognition. So here's where I make a choice. Do I decide to sit here at almost 55 years old and focus on all of those little failures that I've experienced over my life? Or do I sit here and look at the myriad of places where I've seen success, where I have succeeded in life, where I have succeeded in giving life, where I have succeeded in, sorry, there's a bumblebee buzzing around me and I have not succeeded in not being afraid of them, where I have succeeded in repairing my life. I think it's about time I focus on success. So, no, I'm not a failure, neither are you, and I think we need to change our mindset. So why don't we just close the door on this idea of failure and look at the global picture of our lives? I think that'll serve us better in the long run.